I wish good things to you who's watching this. I am Alexey, and with me today is a special guest whom you know very well, at least my most devoted viewers will. The 2020 silver, the 2020, no, just the 2020. We're not this far in the future. The 2020 silver medalist of the Mind Sports Olympiad and the former captain of Team Romania at the World Team Carcassonne Online Championship, Bogdan Curcan, also known with his board game arena screen name Game Over. Hi, Bogdan.
Hi, Alexey. Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me.
And the reason I need Bogdan, we need special forces here today, we need collective mind to commentate on all the actions that's going to happen, because the game that we're expecting, or the match that we're expecting, is going to be at a very high level. We have the reigning Carcassonne Champions League champion and the former world champion, the 2016 world champion, Vladimir Kovalev, with the screen name Someone You Know, facing off against the reigning Mind Sports Olympiad champion, Guilerhme Neves, with the screen name Glovier. So, Bogdan, what do you expect from this match? Do you think that Vladimir is still the favorite based on his credentials, or how close do you think it's going to be?
So, I expect a very high-level match today. I think that Vladimir is still in a slightly advantage due to his performances in person or online championships so far. But I think that it will be a close match in any case. I expect a decisive game, and I think that Vladimir will in the end win. Yeah, sorry for the Portuguese fans, but yeah, this is my prediction.
No need to apologize. I mean, your prediction is what it is. And I think that it is possible that Vladimir might underrate his opponent or something. I definitely expect Glovier to take one game at least off Someone You Know. Obviously, we know that Carcassonne is a game with some variance in it. You never know how the tiles are going to be. I just generally noticed that the Portuguese players have developed a really strong team. So this is my short take on it. All right, let's just see if we have any issues there. The match is going to start in 1 minute. Hi, Ian. Wait, what about... yeah, I think we're all good, all set to go. So let's just go to the players' profile pages. And they are right there over here. Someone You Know rated just under 700, which is the threshold for master. Of course, they are master. They have been rated over 800 at some point. Glovier has been rated over 700 briefly, currently in the lower 600, and for some reason they're not online. Imagine just all this hype for a no-show. No. All is good. They have joined the game, and they will be starting in a second or so, and away we go. So Glovier, with a monastery tile and the starting player advantage, the red meeples for the Portuguese player, a green meeple for Someone You Know, and he will be immediately taking care of this city cap at the top. Or not immediately, but he will be doing that. Start a new city road tile for Glovier. Has a variety of interesting options, so he could just go over here and score 2 points, or he could go for an indirect approach and just occupy a road like this, hoping for a curve, but he gets the 2 immediate points, sets up an attacking platform against green, and also sets up a road which goes through his monastery, so plenty of ways how he benefits. Now a tricky move for Someone You Know with this tile over here. And he decides to make a move which I wouldn't play, actually, starting a new city and slightly putting pressure on this square over here next to a monastery. Glovier with a city cap, looking to start a new city somewhere, either developing his monastery or maybe going at the top, trying to obstruct green's meeple. Chooses the monastery option. Someone You Know with a curve. another interesting choice. So he could either start a 3-point road, but that would help Glovir's monastery really a lot. That would also create another monastery spot. But then all other moves are a bit subpar. The best that I can see is maybe going over here and trying a 2-point road, which also indirectly protects his city and sets up another monastery spot in a different part of the board. Or a more blocky oriented move would be going over here, maybe a bit premature with 6 crossroads remaining, and that's why he goes for the direct scoring move. Glovir with a tile to invade the city, gonna do that in due course, I presume. He might have some other things in mind. Maybe he wants to go over here and score for a road instead, but you don't really have a city like this facing inside your monastery because it's a bit awkward to build up.
And if you don't invade with this Dorito without shield, then with what tile do you invade? So it's the perfect one to attack the city.
Exactly, and this is why the Portuguese player does this. Also note that it prolongs the road which goes through his monastery, and red is the one who's likely to benefit from that road. Vladimir, with a Dorito tile, a bunch of options as usual, could simply add a point to his city, but then make his city a bit more vulnerable. Maybe a scoring tile could allow him over here, and instead he goes for a big city fight. Isn't that interesting? Glovir with the best tile in the deck, probably starting another monastery next to his monastery, but conceding a 5-point road. Still, it's a good exchange if you're the Portuguese player, because this 5-point road adds a point to red's monastery and also sets up another monastery spot and cleans up all these squares really nicely. Glovir with a straight line decides to put some pressure on the squares over here, but this is easily solved by Vladimir drawing a straight line of his own. A curve for Glovir, probably looking to score some monasteries, and he doesn't even bother preserving another monastery spot, given that only 4 monasteries are remaining. I probably would have still liked this move, but red decided that there's still a monastery that can fit in that square, and so the plan of red is to build this side with road tiles and maybe wait for a monastery or a city cap on this side. Hi Luis, hi Helga. So now Vladimir with a city cap and a bunch of options as well. He could go over here and start a new city, but then that would obstruct his own city over here. So he chooses to start a new city by adding a point to Glovir's monastery. But it is the safest possible route, and it puts a bit of pressure on this square, which forces Glovir to build it up with the crossroads. Now Vladimir trying to put pressure on this city and on this square, but Glovir immediately with a curve. Only 4 curves remaining in the deck at this moment. Vladimir tries to block Glovir's city at the bottom, really going hard against that city. And finally, the Portuguese player does not get a tile to defend. He gets a splitter tile, and surprisingly not many good uses for it. So he could either start a new city at the top, which is what he does. This also very nicely leaves the city cap that could not only yield 4 points for somebody, but also block the square. Vladimir decides not to take that city cap, but rather free up a meeple of his own and maybe put some pressure on this square in turn. Glovir with yet another city tile and a block against Vladimir's city. There's still 2 tiles that left to fit into the square, but overall it will be quite difficult to complete this city. So probably what green will be looking to do, he might just go for some big tiles over here and create a 9 or 10 point ruin, and the meeples here would stay for the rest of the game. Vladimir, in the meantime, trying to block Glovir just as Glovir blocked him. Now only 2 tiles remaining that fit into this square, and he'll probably be losing this meeple anyway, because when red finishes the monastery, which he will have to do at some point because he needs to get a meeple back, let's say if he does so with a straight line, then this immediately will open another blocking platform from the left. Vladimir can place something here and block that square. Interesting move here from Glovir. He's trying to save the other part of his monastery. Now, very unusual move from Vladimir. I did not expect it, and also I don't think it's a very good move. And it goes against Vladimir's own principles. So normally, what Vladimir has said in one of his streams when he used to stream a couple of years ago, he said that whenever you are in a position where you need to block two of your opponent's meeples in two places, the best decision is to block nothing, because sometimes your opponent can draw a tile like this, which saves both meeples. Before that, it was almost guaranteed that red would be losing one meeple, and now they will be losing neither. And now red is also threatening another city at the top. So a difficult situation here from Vladimir. And several decisions possible with the city cap. He could finish the city over here, he could finish the city at the bottom, or he could finish neither of the cities and go over here at the top, invade the city of red on the left, and obstruct the city of red of the right. So Bogdan, between these many city cap options, which one do you prefer if you have to play with the green meeples?
Yeah, I would block the city on the top first, because it's a big threat. But I think he already chose to close its own city, and yeah, then Guilerhme with the other dagger just closed the 12-point city, which is a big thing, I believe. Also with the monasteries, and now he can close with the starting tile the 4-point city and taking the road. In the process, I think it's yeah, Guilerhme is in a good position right now, even if we have this big ruin of Vladimir.
Well, at least Vladimir after this has something going. Yeah, the big ruin, of course, is no match for these monasteries and the 5 extra points on the scoreboard, but there's a third monastery even incoming, so a difficult position for Vladimir still. But one thing that he has going for him, he managed to use this clunky tile to obstruct the city of Guilerhme. Now, the only way to complete this city is to draw the one remaining splitter, or to draw a Dorito tile, and then to draw both starting tiles for this square and for this square. Not the easiest task, and statistically not the most likely outcome. Vladimir, with a straight line, decides to go for a farm. That is an interesting choice. I guess he needs to score the point somehow, and he anticipates his own city being completed. Guilerhme is a bit short on meeples, so he can't really engage into a field fight. And what he's gonna do, maybe he's just gonna go over here, finish his road, finish his monastery, and sacrifice a point. He could just go over here, score 2 points for a road, and try to build up a big road going through his city way over here. But instead he just finishes the road, the monastery, and does not drop a farmer, tries to stay very conservative. So Bogdan, as Guilerhme, do you prefer staying conservative and just making sure that you recover a meeple, or just going for more aggressive scoring to make sure that you have such a lead that your opponent can do nothing about?
Yeah, I would go for the scoring, the aggressive scoring. So I would have scored, for example, 2 points and pre-built this huge road with the starting tile. So yeah, he's a bit conservative, but I think it's still fine. I think it's still fine for this game to be conservative, because you have the monasteries and you have a good lead on the scoreboard, 10 points, and a lot of yeah, threads on the board. I think it's still fine to be conservative. So yeah, taking no risk is still fine for now.
And there is an additional benefit of that move. There's actually some chances of even completing that road. Let's say if Guilerhme draws the last horse tile, he could place it over here, finish his monastery, and then meeple this road upon completion of his city and score a whopping 8 points and get a meeple back with just one click of a mouse. Vladimir now with a straight line, and now we can see where is he planning to go strategically. There are 2 main options that I see. One is going over here and just denying Guilerhme the chance of drawing both starting tiles and completing his cities like this. Another option is going over here and trying to go for a 5-point road and trying to simply outscore him. But instead he goes for another farm, a choice which looks interesting, but also, to be honest, not my favorite decision here. Is that what you would have done also, Bogdan? And if not, can you try and guess what is the motivation behind this 3-point farmer from someone you know?
Yeah, I wouldn't have done it. I think he wants to expand that field somehow with some yeah, daggers, or I don't know. I would have tried to, as you suggested, we would have tried to score points on the road with this tile. I still have meeples. I don't think it was an urgency to meeple that farm on the top. But now, look, it pays off on the bottom for Vladimir, because he closes the city, he expands further the field, and yeah, he could close the next one, dropping the second insurance farmer, and yeah, it's in a good position on the bottom. Now with the monasteries, so Guilerhme is into monasteries in this game.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe that's a bit extra for the Portuguese farmer for my taste. But, you know, the monastery maple is what we see. He now builds up the monastery over here, but then makes this square vulnerable. Also, there are not that many city caps left for this city. Now, Vladimir blocks this square over here, but Guilerhme, with the best possible tile in the deck, he gets the splitter and gets himself an 8 point and a meeple back. Vladimir with more city caps, but that's the chance for him to come back into this game. Getting more stuff on the board. I mean, on the field, rather. But there are no splitters remaining of any kind. Guilerhme tries to build up his city. Maybe I would have preferred a different orientation to avoid exactly the kind of stuff, but Guilerhme with one more monastery.
The fifth monastery.
Will we see a sixth one?
I think so.
Yeah.
In any case, he cannot close all of them, so it's not a record. But yeah, it's a good draw.
Well, I mean, he can close a lot of them. He can close this one. He already closed one. Yeah, so the reason...
In the meantime... No, yeah, please, the reason of...
Oh yeah, so the reason why as Guilerhme I would have preferred to place the Dorito tile upward is because there were still tiles like this remaining plus dagger. So it was actually very easy to finish a city and not have to deal with some nefarious blocks, but someone you know now gets an 8 point city of his own. He now has a big field, almost equalizes on the scoreboard. Guilerhme is building his own city, and wait a second, I think that the Portuguese player has an actual chance of completing it, and it's not that easy to block.
Exactly, yeah. There are two daggers there, and also two tiles, I think, for the other side. So it's a good chance. That's why Vladimir wants to block it. Here you go. But he cannot completely block it now because there is still the vanilla cap, I think.
Exactly. And some field Doritos as well that can expand the city. Or one field Dorito, rather.
Doritos.
Oh, no Doritos, just the vanilla.
No, yes, just the vanilla. That doesn't make... Actually, it would make sense because there are two tiles now in the game, in the deck, which could complete that huge city, and would be they are just the game for Guilerhme. I would restrict now, I think. Yeah. And I think Guilerhme gets a monastery meeple back and 9 points. He also has 3 monasteries in the deck, but someone with a scoring tile can go over here. And actually, as Vladimir, I think I don't even bother going there, although this move has some other positive consequences, like just blocking. Guilerhme can defend if he so chooses, but I wonder if he even has to. Of course, it's... Yeah, I think so. I think it has to, because it's a winning path for him. So if he draws this vanilla cap, then it's the game. I think so. You have to defend there. What's the other option that you have?
Well, there are plenty. We could go over here and try and invade the big ruin. I don't think that actually works given the remaining tiles, but that's a possibility that we need to consider. We could go over here and try to obstruct someone you know's road. The reason why I'm just as Guilerhme, I'm a bit reluctant to spend a tile on blocking there is simply because we need to draw the vanilla in another source. You see, the reason why I like this move from Vladimir so much, because it is a double coin flip. Well, first of all, if green draws the vanilla tile over here, this means that red does not get to complete his city. But it also means that green gets to use the vanilla tile over here to score 4 points for a city and twice for both fields. So that would be a 10-point move. That's why I liked this move so much. Guilerhme with a scoring tile, as Vladimir simply prevents his city from being invaded and also controls red's monastery. Guilerhme now could go and take the 3-point or be aggressive and take the 6-point road with, I think, a couple of chances to complete it. There's like 1 crossroads remaining, but this would also connect the 2 farmers. So Bogdan, do you prefer keeping a meeple in play and just scoring the 3 points?
Yes, I keep a meeple in play for the road, for the starting tile. So if I draw one of the 2 starting tiles that are in the game, I just meeple the road, the 6-point road instead. When closing that city, so I would keep the meeple now. So maybe scoring 3 points for now, because Guilerhme, I don't think Guilerhme will take the 6-point road in the end. So it's not a big threat yet. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm also thinking that maybe at some point, Vladimir could actually meeple this road, and then it would. Yeah. And then it would force Guilerhme to go over here and add a point to Vladimir's road if he wants to connect the 2 farmers of green. And the reason why he might want to do that, if green does draw the city cap... Oh, that's a miss. This is the wrong road. It was better to score 3 points over here, because someone you know now can go over here and expand his field like this. I think...
Exactly.
Yeah, I think he just didn't see that option. And he can score an extra point. So Vladimir goes over here, takes a point for his ruin, and also brings in this city into the farm. It was still possible to do with a road monastery, of course, but a road monastery is not guaranteed to be drawn by Guilerhme. Guilerhme, with another scoring tile, now he decides to take the long road.
Decides to take.
And someone you know gets the monastery anyway, but that's a great tile for them. You can just easily score 4 points at the top, or 3 points like... or 6 points like this, or 3 points for the road. Just so many options for the play with the green meeples here.
I think scoring on the top, because you need the meeple back for the rest of the game. So there are still some tiles in the deck, and I think it's worth keeping the meeple.
Well, actually, that's a question. Like, what does he need the meeple for? And I think that's something that he will be trying to figure out.
For the vanilla cap for the city.
Yeah.
4 points, and then maybe meepling another small field or road at the end.
Yep, and it does appear to be a bit more points than what this 6-point monastery would yield, and of course he really wants to get his meeple back. I believe this also is the last road end, because we have run out of crossroads. There is 1 crossroads off screen. I'm going to move it like this. Now you can see that this is the 8th crossroads over here. So how we're doing for points? So Vladimir chose to take 3 points instead of 4 points. I don't understand that move entirely, but none of that matters, as Guilerhme finishes an extremely spectacular city for a gazillion points, and the gazillion being 22 exactly. This also has the extra sting of denying Vladimir his field development, and the first game is going to be a blowout.
Yeah. Vladimir should forget soon this game and reset everything and try to come back in the match. I think that's it. So he just tries to reduce the difference, but it's quite big.
Yeah, and also like Red getting really unlucky here, because Vladimir happened to draw the last monastery and deny Red the pleasure of meepling all 6 monasteries. It's a very evil thing of him to do. Yeah, someone you know is trying to maximize the profit of his top farmer, which now is scoring 5 points, so it ends up sort of kind of mattering. The idea of this move is that Vladimir wants to draw the last starting tile, which Guilerhme needs over here, and then if Vladimir draws it, then he's going to finish his city in his own field, score 7 points for it, plus an extra point for a road over here. I don't think there's much that Guilerhme can do about this. Probably going to go over here and grab 2 monastery points. Unless there is a sneaky idea to get some sort of a counter threat. No, there isn't. The last starting tile is indeed drawn by Vladimir, so Guilerhme doesn't even get to finish his city over here. He just gets
4 points. 4 points maybe, or
Oh,
yeah,
for
4
Guilerhme.
points
Yeah, over here for the
in
ruin.
different places. Yeah, also
And
on the monasteries, 4
yeah, this is of course
points.
the more stylish way. So you get 2 points for the monasteries, 2 points for the road. The Portuguese player is getting some style points. And well, let's see what the score is. Of course, Guilerhme is going to win, but Vladimir has the big ruin and has the fields. So maybe if this big city were not completed, the game could have gotten kind of close.
Yeah, I think so, yes. So Vladimir had these 2 fields and the ruin. I think it would have been close. Otherwise, because he would have scored also some points with that vanilla city cap. Okay, so it's not that bad, right? So it's
Yeah,
16
points, which makes me think that it was actually the city cap that decided the game. Because,
Yeah.
so Guilerhme got 12 points in a meeple back, -3 for the field, so he got 9 points in a meeple back. Is a meeple worth 7 points? Not quite, but this also denied Vladimir 7 points for this tile over here, and I think that in this difficult position, actually Vladimir sets up himself a very nice winning opportunity. He probably would have won with the city cap. But then Vladimir also drew both starting tiles. Yeah, so it was very, very difficult. With the starting tile, of course, Guilerhme would have snatched this long road and gotten himself 3 more city points. Yeah, this was really, really close to unwinnable. So definitely credit goes for Guilerhme not just drawing the monasteries, but also building up an extremely sneaky city, realizing that it can be completed, and Vladimir could not do much other than simply restrict it towards a 50-50 and losing the coin flip. So congratulations to all our Portuguese fans. My prediction turns out to be correct, because Guilerhme managed to take the game off the reigning champion, and let's see if Vladimir can hold on to this. And yes, he can, because in the second game he's 1 tile away from finishing a fantastic city, and Guilerhme is 1 tile away from finishing an okay-ish city, which he now does, probably with a farmer, although this one I'm not sure. So actually that's an interesting question here, Bogdan. As red, I presume you go over here and get your 8 points, but do you drop a farmer? Do you meeple the new city cap? And which direction do you point the city cap?
Yeah, he pointed on the right. I think I would have pointed to the left, to be honest, because it's my road there, and this is what happens now. Of course, there are still 2 starting tiles in the game, but it's very vulnerable, that spot.
It is vulnerable indeed. So it will now get blocked quite soon enough. And now Guilerhme can't really defend because he needs the curves in a bunch of places. Yeah, he doesn't even bother, actually. He just takes the quick points. Vladimir is just going to take the quick points over here, block this meeple, and this is also kind of for nothing. So even though there were still starting tile remaining, the reason why I really don't like this move here from Guilerhme is because in that position, he already needs city plus road tiles, including starting tiles, to use over here to invade the big city of Vladimir. So this seemed to be a bit of a needless adventure from the Portuguese player, but nevertheless, he's still ahead on the scoreboard.
Yeah, but he drew a monastery and he just dropped it, and of course trying to harass the meeples of Vladimir. But look, Vladimir is very courageous and just meepled the 3-point monastery with some potential, of course, with the road monastery and some roads around to be completed. So I think it's a good spot.
A road monastery goes
the
over
spot,
here.
Yeah, and Guilerhme had the monastery but missed that chance.
Yeah.
Now Vladimir just closes the city, the 18-point city, which is huge for him. Guilerhme wants to, of course, block the meeple on the road, but yeah, I think it's a big advantage now for Vladimir with Guilerhme having this meeple blocked on 3 points on the road, and now Vladimir has a tempo. Okay. Just not the right tile. I would meeple the field at some point, even if it's a bit closed. But with the road monastery, it will become huge. But Vladimir keeps scoring and scoring, so it's insane.
Yeah, but the thing with Vladimir scoring was so preventable. What was this move from Guilerhme? It was just such an easy decision to go over here and equalize the city and just break two of these meeples with one. Because the reason why this move would have been so strong, first of all, it would have denied Vladimir exactly the chances of doing what he's doing, and then it would have played against this square. So this is how Guilerhme could equalize his meeple situation. He also has a chance to maybe go over here and then block this square a little bit, but instead he chooses to continue his city and drop a farmer. Vladimir has a farmer of his own, and he chooses to invade the city of Guilerhme. So he now recognizes his advantage and goes for moves which simply minimize variance.
Exactly. He just needs to keep Guilerhme for not scoring more points than him. So just equalize him wherever you can. Now he just drew the crossroad which he needs for the 3 points, and maybe meepling the other 6-point field in the idea of drawing the road monastery later, and then just creating a big field with the advantage that you just have. What do you think, Alexey?
I would be a bit reluctant. Yeah, I agree with Vladimir's move over here. I think actually this is more important because we get to finish our monastery. We're also pre-building a nice road that goes over here. And there's still 4 crossroads that fit into this square. So yes, dropping a farmer is in principle an okay idea. But if we drop too many 6-point farmers, there are some ways for fields to get closed down and for us to have a bit of a disadvantage then in meeples, but I don't think any of that is going to matter, as 16 points on the scoreboard is going to be a blowout win for Vladimir. But Guilerhme, with a road monastery tile, he chooses to start a 6-point monastery, which makes sense, sacrificing a 4-point road, but also controlling the monastery of someone you know. And for some reason, it is actually the Portuguese player with the meeple advantage, despite having more farmers invested and despite having a meeples blocked. This will change in due course, but at the moment at least, I think we can see the Portuguese player's plan. His idea is to create a big field and win this with a 2 versus 1 majority and not a single meeple more. So if he goes over here and goes over here, then his idea is that even if green gets some sort of meeple majority, then he will not have spots to invade. Although I'm pretty sure that Vladimir will create spots to invade if he has to, but it will be a little bit harder. Guilerhme with a dagger, not many strong moves. So
actually, he can put it on the city and hope for the splitter, right?
Ah, yes. And this is exactly what he does. And the splitter also comes with another insurance farmer. There's still, of course, 3 Dorito tiles that go there. Also, Vladimir now is going to finish his city over here on the right. On the left, rather. $20 points on the scoreboard, but Guilerhme with a lead on the farmers. And now we're going to see again, will he follow his plan? If he follows the same plan, the move probably is to go over here and eliminate a field connection option from Vladimir. But instead, he tries to put some pressure on the road. So this now begs the question, as Vladimir, well, I guess that. So he decides to... Oh, that makes sense. Of course, it blocks the red farmer here at the top. But that, again, is that such a big deal? Because if red draws a splitter and drops a farmer here, then suddenly red has a bazillion points for this farm. He's also now trying to score some more with the city. Vladimir now is not going to finish this road. He's going to go block. I know Vladimir. I've known him long enough to know what he's going to do. He's just counting which side it is better to block, like this, or like this, Or actually, with a 20-point lead, Bogdan, do you prefer trying to obstruct your opponent's city, knowing that there's still technically tiles with which he can recover it, or do you just prefer to get yourself a meeple back before it itself gets blocked or restricted?
Yeah, so in this situation, I think there are plenty of caps to close that. So if you block from the left, there are plenty of caps. If you block from the right, there are still a lot of caps, city caps to complete the city. I would just close my ring road and hope to block that city with, I know, a big city tile, right? With the cow tile or the horse tile. And because Guilerhme needs the splitter on the other side, right? So he will not use the splitter to free up the meeple on the left. So, but yeah, he drops the farmer. Okay, I think that's good. But does he need the field?
Yeah, that's the question I was also asking. He does not appear to be needing the field, but I think he's trying to play extra cautious in the event that red draws a splitter. Because if red draws a splitter, then that field will be devastating. So he pre-meeples it just in case. And then even if this invasion square gets blocked, which is actually quite possible, then upon the completion of the city, there's always a way to go upstairs and share a little field with the 12-point red meeple over here. Now,
but I think go with this move, and then I was saying something else.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you. I'm just going to say that Guilerhme has a triangle tile, and he could continue his city, which is probably what I would have done, or he could do something like this and try to try to block over here a little bit, but instead his intention is to try and block the field. So he's actually putting pressure on both squares, on this square which would connect all the field, or on this square which would connect all the field. He's now scoring quick points after someone connected to the main field. He now retrieves his road meeple. So the decision
just in time because there are not so many crossroads remaining, and he could get blocked. Look like this,
but he gets blocked again. So okay, saying you drew a crossroads, fine. Try drawing another one.
So this is the block. This is the block for that city. That's the
that you were talking about a couple of moves ago.
Yeah.
Excellent idea from green to postpone this block, realizing that there's still tiles in the deck that are available. So this in fact is a complete block because this square is blocked and it is tied together to this city meeple. Even though red could still get a splitter to get himself a meeple back from this situation, this would not be that impactful because red already sort of kind of needs a splitter over here to gain a bigger field and to develop this little guy on the left. Someone, with the road monastery, that's the best possible tile that he can draw. Well, in fact, it is statistically the best tile in Carcassonne. But in this situation, are you kidding me? 7 points for a monastery, field invasion complete, and now green manages to overtake the field, which Guilerhme needs to not only equalize but also overtake himself, and even chances to complete this monastery actually.
And the splitter goes to someone and I think that the game it's somehow almost finished with this splitter, because I think the chance of Guilerhme would have been with this splitter and then trying to reinvade the field and to overtake it and so on. But now but why there? Okay,
I presume that there's still daggers? No, there aren't. Yes, there is one.
Okay. I would have put it one space below and maybe hoping for the next monastery there, or the vanilla cap. I don't know, but it's still a way to play it. Guilerhme is all in, I think. Leave it empty. Yeah, but it's You take the 6 points. I don't know.
No, you take the 8. You finish your monastery. I think that's what you do.
Yes, 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 yes. You're right. I forgot about it. Yeah.
But also, like, I mean, pick any of the gazillion winning moves in this position. Oh, actually, thank you, Wisemace, for pointing out that these fields are not united yet, because this square has not been filled.
Yes, with the straight line or the starting tile.
Yeah, but then after this move, he doesn't even need to unite the fields, because he has a perfectly fine, perfectly healthy 9-point field with an extra city cap of his own. Guilerhme gets a bit of a break as he draws a 9-point move, 6 points for the city and 9 for the... and then some 3 for the farm. And also he happens to draw one of the tiles that are needed for field unification. He's still fighting. Also know that...
I think Vladimir will just invade now the 9-point field, right?
Yeah, it sounds like the play here. And he can do it in such a way that allows invasions from both sides.
Exactly. With plenty of tiles fitting there. What is the winning plan for Guilerhme here? If there is one.
Well... 1, 2... Oh, it's actually a very straightforward plan. We get a city cap and we go over here. And we try to draw the last remaining cow tile to overrun a city of like 18 points. Then we get 2 meeples back and we use those to fight for the field. And with this move, actually, Vladimir made this all but impossible, because you see like tiles like this, the city caps just no longer fits anymore. And Vladimir keeps drawing them and crunching and munching on those quick points and quick points and quick points, and Guilerhme can just watch. I mean, he's gonna have a little bit of his own, like 3 points over here. Probably as Guilerhme, actually, I want to keep this 5-point road empty, because I want to then later meeple it with 5 points. This is exactly what he does, trying to desperately cling to all possible attempts. But Vladimir just gets a tile himself, and what do you do here? Do you take the 5-point road? Do you join the field? Or do you join those fields, giving yourself a bazillion field points?
I don't. Yeah, I can join the fields. I don't know, but it's still the game is won by Vladimir. I think I would just merge the fields. Maybe what's the most scoring move? I think this one, right? It's a 12. Ah, okay, that's interesting. Why just not leaving it for the opponent?
Yeah, that's pretty much the idea. And also, it's a really strong move, because I see, like, if you connect to the field over here, well, that's a 6-point move. But here you make a 5-point move and then don't allow your opponent to make it. There's really not a lot of value in trying to unite the field, because maybe if you unite the field, somehow Reds can get extra meeples and then try to reconquer it. So maybe you don't want to be creating a big field in the first place. But now we see that Red's just really not having a lot of options. Although this move I kind of disagree. I would have preferred going over here, simply blocking Vladimir's road. But it's very difficult to recommend something when you're losing with 32 points on the scoreboard and on the field.
You're right. Guilerhme is in a unpleasant situation right now. But we need to finish the game anyway, so he needs to reduce the difference. But Vladimir just scoring city caps. That's insane.
Yeah, it's also a question.
Could try to he could try to invade or to meeple the field at some point, the bottom field, but it's just to reduce the difference. Yeah, please, you wanted to say something.
So you mentioned that Guilerhme needs to try to reduce the point difference, but then the question is, does he? Maybe it's better to sort of save your brain cells for the decider match and then hope that Vladimir tries to be pedantic and all precise and spends all his energy trying to maximize his wins. Yeah, one of the strengths of Vladimir is like he's a really strong, like mind sports athlete in particular. So he knows how to focus, he knows how to not stay on tilt and just generally comes across as a rather collected person. So I don't think you can try all this. I mean, you can try all this human stuff, but I don't think it's just going to work. Yeah, I actually see a move for Guilerhme. I probably like placing the city cap over here in the shared field. First of all, setting up a 4-point road with a crossroads, of which I believe there's still one remaining. And we need to win the coin flip for the crossroads anyway, because we're trying to keep our Vladimir without meeple over here. This also opens up a city cap. If there's still a city cap remaining, we could score 4 points over here, then 4 points for a road. And then on the last tile, we actually might invade the farm at the top, winning ourselves 12 points. So that would be potentially a 20-point sequence with just one meeple, with an extremely lucky run out of tiles, but why not try it?
There are not so many road tiles remaining to create invasion in the field. I think it's a bit hard to invade the field right now. If I'm not wrong, there is no curve or not straight line.
It looks like that,
yeah. The big city tiles are not yet in play. A lot of, for example, the horse tile all the free tiles are in the deck.
Exactly, it's such an interesting run out. Like sometimes when it happens when you're losing a game, and when you know that you need to invade the field, and then you just look at the pool of unsealed tiles, and it's all horse, extender, cow, like all this stuff, and you're like, what am I gonna do with all this garbage?
Exactly, yeah.
And you just get like this sense of inevitability. Like you can't even hope for anything. But Guilerhme is hoping, with this move over here, he's hoping that board game arena developers will write a code that allows him to draw the third non-existent splitter, which of course would help him finish a 6-point city over here and get a meeple back. And this is probably what I would do in real life as well. And then maybe if somebody shuffled the decks wrong and then you get a third splitter, then you say, well, the deck is what it is.
Yeah. But you see, Vladimir still spends a lot of time, as you anticipated. So he spends a lot of resources in finding the best move. It doesn't really matter, but he just respects the opponent and wants to play the best moves. Do you meeple the field or not?
I think he chose not to meeple the field. The idea of this move was simply to protect this square. It's simply to not allow Guilerhme use a tile for invasion. Guilerhme is now building up his ruin in the smart way. He's not adding the points directly. He's just setting up.
But Vladimir could take that 3-point PT and hope for the connection to the ruin. But he just drew the last crossroad, but now Vladimir could invade the ruin.
I think he didn't notice. It was 100% invasion, I believe.
Yes.
Because there are just so many big tiles remaining. I think that's a bit of a miss here from Vladimir. How could he?
But I think it would have been too much for Guilerhme to also lose that ruin.
But actually, I really like moves like these. I mean, if you can calculate it very quickly and you realize that you have 100% invasion, that can be really demoralizing to your opponent. Just kind of showing who has control of the game.
So here are all the horse tiles. Then what's the last tile? Does it matter? I think it's
since 3 out of 4, at least 3 out of 4 tiles were big tiles, Vladimir was guaranteed to invade. I can't. It hurts. It actually hurts.
Don't tell him.
I've made a mistake like this in the 2021 European Championships, actually, against Viv, when I had a winning game, and then on the penultimate tile I had 100% invasion, but I didn't do it. And I still regret that mistake, even though it ended up not mattering for the outcome of the game. It's just like, it sucks being imprecise, and I know that Vladimir cares about stuff like this. So let's see if it demoralizes him or not. Probably not. He must be pretty happy with how his game went. I'm glad we witnessed this because he's excellent at playing meeple advantages. So once that this 3-point meeple of Guilerhme was blocked with more compensation, Vladimir just built up stuff and then did not leave his opponent any chances, and even ended up with more field points.
Yeah, the splitter was the key, the second splitter, which was drawn by Vladimir, but was the key point, I think, in the game, and then it was just lost after that. Okay, let's see the decisive game. I think we were both right. You said that Guilerhme will win at least one. I said that we'll have a decisive game and Vladimir will win. Let's see. But they blitz out the first, of course. So Guilerhme just closed the city with the first move, and then Vladimir started the second. His first city and now the second city. A lot of city caps in play.
Yeah, looks like a very open position because somebody's going to meeple this road for 5 points and try to build up a big 8-point loop like this. And this will open a gigantic field. And this is something that will be prevented actually now by Guilerhme, who is starting a new city on the left, trying to harass this guy a little bit and also disrupting this road, not allowing someone to draw one of the 9 remaining curves and finish an easy road. So instead, he's going to go with a straight line and a bit more difficult road. And I don't get how do you not meeple this?
He was afraid of getting blocked on the road, I think.
Vladimir, afraid?
I don't know. But here is a good spot for the monastery, so what? Okay.
This one I can understand. This one I can understand. So it controls the city. It is a safer spot for the monastery because here from the bottom it could have been blocked.
Yeah.
And it also controls this road over here, which should have been Green's road. I don't know what that's about.
No, it's... Do you close the city as Vladimir here? Or start a new one?
I like starting a new one. I think closing the city is a bit too chickeny. So normally you want to close cities like this which are being harassed, but the thing is that Guilerhme, if he's going to go over here and harass this meeple, then he's going to open a attacking platform against his own city. So Vladimir chose to start a new one, not in the place where I would have done. I would have liked to develop the monastery. Now this city on the left is actually a little bit dangerous, and Vladimir still just hates meepling this road for some reason. Wow.
He will meeple it next move, I think.
Yeah. And Guilerhme now tries to block more of Green's meeples, and this is actually really annoying for both players because 4 out of 6 daggers have gone out, so it's kind of easy to block.
And this is the last dagger, I think. This is the last left-handed dagger.
Ah, so it's also an asymmetrical distribution. Yeah. How interesting. Okay, Vladimir gets himself a farmer. He's now really threatening to block Red over here, and now we're gonna see the issue. Red would have loved to go over here and meeple this road, but he can't because he would be attacking his own city and he would be expanding Green's farm. So that's the beauty of that move. So Guilerhme needs to draw something for this square before Vladimir draws something for this square. Wait, so what exactly do you do here if you're the Portuguese player? Do you just maybe want to go over here and start a long road like this? Or do you like this move, which tries to block Vladimir's city? Oops. Interesting. So what is happening there? No, we're back. So finally Vladimir meeples the road and gets a strategic advantage in this game. This field grows, this meeple on the city suffers, and the road is finally occupied by Vladimir. But Green City is also kind of precarious over here, and he does not get to defend, although he gets a monastery tile which easily goes over here for some further development. This is what I would do, but Vladimir is thinking about it. Wait, let me just check again. Oh, yeah, so... Wait, so what's the deal? Okay, my Bogdan's also frozen. I'm just gonna try and reinitiate the call. So I'm gonna mute that for a second. I'm pretty sure that Bogdan's gonna rejoin us in due course. I'll just need to remember to actually... Well, I know we're gonna do it... anyway, we're gonna have Bogdan back a little bit later, I'm pretty sure. Alrighty. Oh, anyway. Yes, thank you, Wisemace, for pointing out that all the 3 daggers have gone out. It was just a bit of confusion of which dagger has gone out for me. So yeah, so this meeple is already blocked. So an equal position overall, because even though Vladimir lost 1 meeple, his monasteries are well developed. He's going to get the 4 points over here, which is kind of nice for him. Red is struggling a little bit on this road. Vladimir simply discards a monastery, although I think it's a bit of a miss. I would have preferred going over here, protecting his city, but the purpose of this move is that he's now trying to block this here square. Guilerhme gets a crucial curve, which allows him to connect to the road, and he doesn't even want to invade just field that yet. He decided that he can do that a little bit later. But if Vladimir gets lucky enough, he could build around the square and block it completely. Road monastery tile for Vladimir. And the tricky decision, a strategic decision. Some possible moves include simply taking 3 points over here, or maybe 2 points over here with putting some additional pressure on this square. But another move would be going over here, meepling the new monastery, giving yourself 2 meeples back from this monastery and from this road, and just 1 meeple back to your opponent, and blowing this field wide open. Adding all these cities into the field, and then turning it into a big field fight. So, big field fights typically benefit the side which is behind, and that is Vladimir, with a bit of a deficit on the scoreboard and a deficit on meeples. But big field fights also benefit the side which has more meeples, and this side, long term, is Guilerhme. But maybe Vladimir's plan is to try and block this meeple of red, and then later to make sure that he wins this field. And you see, that's why he doesn't even bother meepling this monastery, because he figures that the 9 potential points from this monastery won't even matter for the outcome of the game. And that's because his plan is to build up the field. Guilerhme scores 4 points for a road, doesn't want to connect to the farmer yet. At his peril, Vladimir with a triple city tile, one of many. All the 7 remaining triple city tiles are still in the deck. There's actually a lot of city tiles still in the deck. We kind of have an opening which is heavy on city caps, and soon our guest might be rejoining. Whoa, isn't that interesting? No. All good. I think we're doing just fine.
I'm back. Sorry, I was just completely cut off.
No worries.
Power grid. Okay.
I think we gotcha.
Okay.
We even got you on camera, so all good.
Okay.
At least we got part of you on camera, which is close enough.
Better than nothing. And I think I moved now, so it's great. Okay.
Well, anyway.
What do we have here?
Well, what do we have here is we have a huge field fight. So this map has blown so out of proportion that I just keep zooming in, or zooming out rather, and Guilerhme trying to invade the field and Vladimir now trying to block that square. So there's not many tiles left to complete the invasion. There's in fact only one vanilla and one road monastery. That's kind of sad, but Guilerhme gets a splitter which he needed last game. And now he could go over here and try the completion of that city. But again, there are not many vanilla city caps remaining and he needs the last remaining vanilla city cap to go over here. But he could still, if he goes over here, he could get one of the 3 remaining splitters of his own, one of the 2 horizontal splitters, or the last remaining diagonal splitter, like this. Do you see any alternative moves here? Oh, wait, this is something you know. Never mind.
Yeah, maybe blocking the 2-point seat because there are still 2 daggers in the deck.
Yeah, seems like a good idea.
Just to compensate the 1 point that you got blocked for yourself here on the dagger. I think you block because you just want to equalize a bit the situation of the block nipples, right?
Yes.
And of course Guilerhme wanted the splitter, but it's not the case. I think it's still it's the first one, so he still has a chance to close the and he completes the block with a farmer. That's nice.
Yeah.
But it's also risky because there is only one starting tile, and you could get blocked easily.
You could. But I think that his idea is that if he were to get himself blocked on this square, which he does, this would in theory reopen the platform for a block over here. But it just so happens that Guilerhme first draws a curve to connect him and then blocks this guy.
That's bad now for Vladimir. So he needs the starting tile to be back in this fight, I think.
Or
but
maybe not.
Not? Is there a way to win keeping... Of course, that field could be 6 points, right, in the end. But can you...
But with this move over here, Vladimir basically saying that he's going to just have enough stuff. He doesn't need to have any more meeples. And he's going to even allow his monastery to be blocked because Guilerhme is now going to go over here and block this guy, which he absolutely should.
Yes.
But also now...
so many meeples blocked. So if this monastery gets blocked, you have 6 meeples. Just you don't get them back, right? So you have only 1 meeple to play for the 14 tiles or so.
It's a lot.
It's a lot, I think. Like, what do you do? Okay, you have the field, I understand. But it's not an insanely huge field. It has 6 cities. I don't know. Guilerhme should just block the monastery, of course. This is the play here. What? No.
Wait, I mean, he could prove out to be a genius, but I severely dislike this move, just because it's just so important to get that meeple, and Guilerhme now, of course, will go over... Well, actually, I'm not sure.
No.
Wait, Guilerhme could now go here.
Yeah, he will complete or try to block the farmer.
But I'm not sure if he realizes that it is still possible to get a monastery and connect all the blue farmers like this.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to be allowing a meeple back to my opponents if I'm red. But I think one of the reasons why red really wants to block these farmers is the fact that his own farmer is close to being blocked. You see, Vladimir on his last turn drew the last remaining vanilla city cap, which means that the only tile that's left to fit into the square is the regular monastery. And even that is about to get blocked.
Yeah.
Unless, of course, Guilerhme wants to go for a 50-50, go over here and get a farmer, and then try to draw the last remaining monastery, score 9 points, and get 2 farmers on the field. No, he's not going to do that, but Vladimir saves his meeple as a result.
What a miss. I think it was a big miss by Guilerhme here.
It was indeed.
You let Vladimir, you let Vladimir playing with 1 meeple for, I know, a third of a game, more than a third of a game, so it's huge.
Yeah, because the difference is that even if Guilerhme manages to keep all the farmers at bay, by the way, he's not able to invade because Vladimir just dropped a blocking tile at the top. There's nothing that fits into that square anymore. As I said, all the vanilla tiles have gone out. If Vladimir gets another meeple, then he has enough to continue the game. Like 2 meeples are good enough for 20 points. We can see that Guilerhme is trying to set up yet another splitter, saying, come on, you can't draw out on me again. And Vladimir is saying, yes, yes, I can. I'm going to start with a scoring tile, not even going to bother defend the connection. Guilerhme first decides to block the invasion platform like this. Yeah, and I think...
Can you believe this? So this farmers could end up in 3 farmers on 9 points altogether. So this is crazy.
Yes, but this is kind of enough.
Well... Oh, whoa, whoa. So he needs a starting tile, and then... Yeah, he's in the best position right now. So he just risked a lot with these farmers, I think, Vladimir. I don't know if it was the case, but yeah. Do you see Vladimir winning if these farmers are not joining the field?
Easily.
Easily?
Vladimir is winning most of the time. Like, Vladimir is winning unless the splitter is drawn. Vladimir doesn't care about the starting tile. Because he's going to have 3 points here. He's going to have a couple of points here. Like, that's already 9. He has 6 on the scoreboard. That's 15. And what does Guilerhme have? Guilerhme has an extra meeple, but a meeple is not worth 15 points unless he can himself find a field invasion. And this is why, for example, Vladimir now is not going over here. He's not trying to find some sort of indirect defense. He's, first of all, wants to go over here and try and block that square. So the splitter is the only thing that he's concerned about.
Do you defend indirectly here for the splitter?
You might have to do that simply because there appear to be plenty of city plus row tiles to complete the block. Oh, but he doesn't have to have a city plus row tile. Look at this. The 4 cow tiles have gone out. So even with the Dorito tile, Vladimir can now complete the block.
Yes.
Which he will now happily do.
Yeah, he will do it, yeah.
And now the problem for Guilerhme, with all his lovely extra meeples, he just can't do all that much. Or maybe he can. I see a couple of options. Well, first of all, we need to decide for ourselves. Do we want to actually block this square and block the square completely? Or do we just hope that we win the coin flip for the starting tile and don't bother blocking? After that decision has been made, then we need to find a plan. How do we use our meeple advantage effectively on a closed board like this? And the best answer, it seems to me, that we set up some sort of fields connection. Maybe we can go over here and then hope to draw a tile that fits over here and try to connect like this with this square. Another possible idea is to go over here and then set up an invasion like this thrown outside of a curve, which also happens to be unblockable because all 4 field crossroads have gone out. And there's still a couple of curves remaining, and by a couple I mean 1.
Yeah, I thought that the second farmer is connected, the second farmer of Guilerhme, but yeah, he's not, so I was hallucinating. And it's completely blocked on 0 points. The top farmer, I mean. And then it's, yeah, you're right, that's out of the game. So, yeah, that's bad for Guilerhme. So I thought that the field is off, for the Portuguese player, but it's not the case. Then
yeah, this would have changed the game quite significantly. So yeah, that's what I was talking about. That kind of Vladimir, like these extra points from these fields, from these little fields, they absolutely matter. And this is why top players typically choose field invasion points, which are not 0 pointers, but like 3 pointers or 6 pointers, because later on these little points, they could add up in case these farmers does not connect.
Yep.
So I guess at this point you need to decide like how bad your position is as Guilerhme. So Bogdan, do you try and first of all, just in case, block this guy over here, hoping to block this guy later? Or do you not block any of those meeples? You decide that the coin flip is good enough, and then you already start engineering the board to make it more conducive for future field connections for yourself to use.
So I think Glovir should rely on the fact that he will draw the starting tile. That's the... What the heck is this? Ah, okay, with parallel splitter.
That's actually pretty
okay.
cool. Well,
Okay.
is it? But like Vladimir could draw. Okay, first of all, this is such a big move. First of all, if Vladimir gets the starting tile, then red is toast because he's cut off. But if Vladimir does not get it, then red can get the parallel city caps. There's still 2 of those remaining, and this will complete the invasion here, and this will also block Vladimir. And actually, red is kind of the favorite to do so. But this is not over. There's still 1 tile like this remaining, so Vladimir could draw it like this, and then this would block all of the farmers, both green and red, and Vladimir would still have the teeny tiny chance of connecting over here on the left. So certainly a content move.
Let's see what is the tile of Glovir now, because he has a good chance that he draws first the parallel city caps before Vladimir does it. Ah, okay, it's not the tile.
And look this, and now Vladimir decides to protect the other connection, and he recognizes there's a reason why he's doing this. You see, now Glovir cannot use this tile to block over here. And he's planning to use the starting tile not over here, but he's planning to draw the extender tile to put this over here, block everything, and then use the starting tile over here. But like overall at this stage, the winning chances of both sides have to be like 55-45 maybe for Vladimir, not much more.
Yeah, it's interesting. A lot of farmers, but 3-point farmers, 0-point farmers, so it's yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 7 farmers are scoring 3 or 0 points at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah. But I feel that these caps are in the hand of Glovir, so he has it. The connection and yeah, the good chance to win the game maybe. But he needs the starting tile as well, right?
Well,
He needs
I
both.
guess so. By the way, Vladimir also has one other path to victory, which is why I put them as a slight favorite. There's still a curve remaining for him to finish the monastery, and then he can get a meeple back and reinvest it into a farmer.
Yes, that's true. So does Glovir need all these tiles, the parallel city caps, just in time, and then the curve, and then the starting tile?
Not necessarily, but now Vladimir decides to take 2 points instead of 3 over here. I cannot possibly imagine what might be the reason for this other than a miss. And the starting tile is drawn. Oh, the game will end too soon. Too soon.
Why? Yeah. But it was nice to watch.
Yes, it's going to be a bit anticlimactic, but especially at this time, he's going to go over here and block this poor red farmer and connect himself. But then I'm starting to think, I think Glovir has chances even after this. He can just score 11 points, he can get himself this city, unless Vladimir meeples it right now, which is a possibility. I think you actually have to meeple it as Vladimir, or do you?
Yes, because there are a lot of chances to close it, yeah.
Yes.
And
Glovir now needs to block.
Yeah, he needs to block. It's a permanent block, yeah. There are no daggers, yeah.
Yes, there are no daggers indeed. This is the same type of dagger that fits over here. And then Glovir can actually try to draw some scoring tiles. For example, if he goes over here, he's setting up a city cap and he's setting up... No, Glovir, you have to block. Don't tilt. There's still so many tiles that go there. Vladimir now is going to defend. There was still a chance. Oh, look at this. What a defense. It's now
Wow, nice.
Almost impossible to block. The only possibility to block is with a curve, although I think this defense is a bit imprecise. I would have preferred the direct approach, given that the parallel city caps are still remaining.
Yeah, but there is this splitter, right? He wanted everything fitting there, not restricting anything, so he wants to split it.
Right. Oh yeah, since there were multiple city caps, Guilerhme could have absolutely won this.
Exactly. 3 out of 8 were good, but now Vladimir with the monastery. There's no good spot, right? Do you meeple this? I don't think so, right? There are still plenty ways of scoring points. Or you meeple it because you can just draw a curve, or you close the city. But there is no place.
Yeah, Guilerhme is going to now take quick points.
Yes,
but still, 3 tiles that left to fit in there. Like, Vladimir's have to draw something at some point. Like, he has 4 tiles that give him a meeple back. Yeah, so this is going to hurt way too much.
Of course, a big miss by Guilerhme.
I mean, he gets himself a tile as well. Like, he's going to have a little field. This is not going to be enough, because he still needs to equalize the big field somehow, which is still doable, surprisingly. Not after this. Okay, so there was actually still a chance for Guilerhme to equalize this field. If this tile has not been drawn, Guilerhme could get a curve, drop a farmer over here. Then Vladimir gets a diagonal splitter and can't block, and then we as red draw this tile, place it over here, and equalize the farm. But even that would not have been enough.
Yeah, that's a nice idea. Yeah, but it's too late, I think.
Yeah.
What a game. You just play with the coin flips like this.
Honestly, like, it's against the reigning champion, it's not the worst strategy, because you figure out, okay, like, they're very good, obviously. If I just can set up a coin flip, then my winning chances are like 50-50. If I try to out-strategize them, it's much harder to do.
That's correct.
Now, the remaining tiles should be the diagonal splitter and the extender. And now it's going to be another coin flip. And just to demoralize Guilerhme, someone you know is going to get the last splitter for 7 points over here. There's no way how Reds can attempt a field invasion.
Oh dear. Yeah, there's not so much to be done. What a game. Yeah.
So I guess he just needs to find his best end game, which is, well, taking a 5-point road actually might be his best move. Then Guilerhme takes, then someone you know takes a 6-point city with the extender, and then we just dump the extender somewhere. Oh, the splitter somewhere.
Yep. That would be the sequence. So you cannot do more than 5 points, I think, as Guilerhme here in 2 tiles. So that's kind of it. But he missed to block that city, the 8-point city.
I'm pretty sure that's psychological. Because he also played so quickly. He decides, I need to score, I'm so behind. But like, just keep your composure. It was so possible to win.
Yeah, exactly.
So he would have had, so Vladimir would have had a meeple blocked, and Guilerhme would have more stuff on the scoreboard, because this move was not only a block, it was a setup for 8 points. It was making a 4-point road, which he would have drawn over here. It was a setup for a 4-point city, which he also did draw. And then, so he would have gotten 4 plus 4 plus 3 from this tile over here, 11 points, and then a chance to invade the field through any of these obscure routes over here or over here. And that's more than enough to win, but Vladimir will take this one home as Guilerhme gets the splitter that he wanted. So, but unfortunately that the second best tile in Carcassonne, you just have to discard on your last move. Well,
yeah, that's unfortunate.
It was certainly spectacular, I'll give you that. We're gonna find out what the score difference is in a second, and actually it's not even... No, it's an entire field. So it's actually quite the score difference. And also, just to show peak efficiency, Vladimir won this field 2 against 1, and these 2 extra farmers are scoring 3 extra points all by themselves just to rub it in. Plus 16 is the victory of the play with the green meeples. The reigning Carcassonne Champions League winner is showing why they earned that title last year. Nope, it wasn't 50-50 for the starting tile. Nope, nope, nope. You could have still won with the starting tile. All right. But let the players do a post-mortem analysis. Someone you know was saying politely, yep, but this is not entirely true.
But I think we witnessed a nice duel.
That's true.
Entertaining one.
Oh wait, is my face covering the chat? Okay. Wait a second. Let me just do. How do I do this? Yeah, let me just do this for a second. Oh no, it's not covering the chat. I think it's fine. Yes, you all can just read for yourselves. Nah. Okay.
Let them talk.
I know.
It's fine.
So, let's update the scoreboard, something that I haven't done at all. So it's 1 Guilerhme, 2 someone you know. Honestly, probably Guilerhme should be happy with taking a game off Vladimir. Kind of being close to an upset, but then I think later on the 2016 world champion just out-strategized his younger counterpart. So, I'm going to leave that open for a couple more minutes because it's very just interesting what his thoughts are. It does appear that he is going to share something. Oh no, not anything in particular. Yeah, I personally learned a lot from the time when someone you know used to stream on his channel, Lucky God. That was in 2021, a bit in 2022.
Guilerhme is in the chat, in the stream chat. It's very.
Hi, Guilerhme. My commiserations. That's okay. That's okay. I mean, everybody loses against someone you know. I personally did that 3 times in a row last season in the semifinals, so I know how it feels. Alrighty, I guess there's no further discussion going on, so we can finally conclude our stream of just looking a little bit at the group situation. And oh, it's going to be updated, I guess, soon enough. And to be honest, I really forgot who won what. I know that Hydro Baby won against got 71 looks this morning. Someone you know obviously did right now, so they should be sharing the second place. Guilerhme and Catlux sharing the 4th place, and This duel, I'm not sure how it ended. Let me just double check real quick. Or maybe not, as we appear to be having some delays. Oh, hi Vladimir. Oh, there we go. We have the man of the night over here. Congratulations on your win. And your courageous farmers. Okay, this was a couple of days ago, so I would expect the Chinese player to win, but we cannot know. So anyway, so Vladimir is either in tied first or in tied second after round one. This is what we know. They are definitely the favorite of their group. As for the entire championship, Bogdan, what would be your prediction as to who wins? Are you going to bet again on Vladimir, or and if so, who are the other contenders whom you would expect?
Yeah, I think I watched a bit the Rabbit Rain matches. It's overwhelming, to be honest. So I think he's a good contender, but of course Vladimir as well as the reigning champion. You as well, Viv, or yeah, the known players who are there all the time. But yeah, I think also this Japanese player will have something to say in the end. But yeah, I will be watching it closely. It will be an interesting season, I think.
It should be, yeah. And well, you mentioned Rabbit Rain, certainly making it interesting. He would definitely have to be one of my favorites, along with someone you know. Even though he has not so much tournament experience in particular, and for example, we have seen that he has struggled a bit with time management, just the sheer knowledge of the game. For example, yesterday or earlier today, was super recently, he actually got the world record for the highest ever ELO in classical Carcassonne with 879, beating previously Nalleheim's 876. He also did so by defeating Nalleheim himself in a series of classical games. So I'm not sure why Otto agreed to play them, but it is his business. And he will be the one to watch, and in particular, he will be the one to watch tomorrow, as the first match of round 2 has already been scheduled. We will be meeting again 13th of January, that's Monday, 2000 UTC, playing against Oscar Bustamante of Spain, former national champion. Well, thank you, Wisemace, for confirming that Singh won against Kraukle of Lithuania 2-0. So Vladimir is, in fact, at the moment at least, tying for second in this group. And did we miss anything, Bogdan? Shall we start wrapping things up?
Yeah, we can wrap up. I think we did not miss anything.
Yeah, so just gotta remind you all to meeple the like button for the algorithm. Oh, hi Nalleheim, saying Rabbit Rain was doing too well and was threatening your record, so you had to take him down himself. Yeah, we'll see how that went. Anyway.
That's courageous, to be honest, so I appreciate the effort. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pity that we couldn't catch that on stream. That would have been really nice. Anyway, yeah, thanks again, Bogdan, so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me.
And then thank y'all so much for watching, and I'm gonna see you soon.